Aha. Right?
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Hello. Shabbat Shalom. Ah, there you are. Thank you. Nice to see you all. Okay. No, really? I'll make you sit in the corner. Okay. You should be so lucky. Okay. First of all, thank you to our friend Ophelia Kay, who has provided the flowers and the oneg tonight in honor of the many friends she has made at Temple Bethor, and that's because she's easy to make friends. So thank you, Ophelia. We're very happy to have you here. To start with, I need to address some security issues. As you know, we do have door monitors. The door monitors will be starting their shift at 6:45, so we do ask that you not try to enter the temple before 6:45. If you ring the doorbell, that means Alyssa has to run to the door, and it A, interrupts her workflow, and B, it's not really very safe for her. So if you would please try to honor that and not come earlier than 6:45, then our monitors will be here and they will be more than happy to greet you and let you in. Also, when you leave during or after the oneg or after services, please make sure, number one, you use the correct door, the one that says exit this door. Yes, it's left. This is the left side. If you're facing the door. Oh, thank you. Yes, okay. Use that door. And after you exit, please make sure that the door is closed tightly. It doesn't help security any if the door is not closed. So that's my security notice for the evening. Thank you very much. We've got lots going on as usual. Sunday, I did that last week, but you want me to do it again? Okay, in my security briefing, okay, the rabbi says I should remind you of the emergency exits. I don't have my flashing light. The door by Ray there goes out to the front. The two doors on Santa Gertrudis obviously go out to Santa Gertrudis, and that's why we leave the slider open. Okay. May I continue, Rabbi? Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Oh, and I don't get to show how to do the seat belt. Maybe next week. I have been asked by Neil to remind you of the nature walk on Sunday morning if it's not raining. Meet at the temple at 11 o'clock or at Laguna Lake at 11:15. It's not supposed to rain, so it should be a lovely day. At 1 o'clock on Sunday, our adult ed program is presenting a klezmer celebration and sing-along in honor of Jewish Music Month. That's always a lot of fun, and this year we're going to be projecting the words on the screen, so those of us who like to hum along but don't know the words may actually try to sing the words along. So it should be a wonderful evening. Wednesday is a dine out at Silver Palace. And next weekend, Trent Porter becomes a bar mitzvah. So mazel tov to everyone. Have a wonderful week. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you, El Jefe.
La Jefe.
La Jefe. Hefa. Hefa, Hefu, Hefo. Shabbat shalom, everyone. And welcome to the end of our week. Our cantor is on vacation this week, so we welcome back to our bima, our soloist and office manager and all-around gal Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Deneen Dyson. Pleasure to share the bima with you this evening, Dee. Thank you for being with us. Sometimes the end of the week comes just when we need it. Inundated with news, inundated with tasks, inundated with things we have to do, we feel ourselves oftentimes overwhelmed by life around us. And just when we think, I can't handle one more thing, Shabbat arrives. It is Friday evening. There is a peace in the air around us if we open our hearts to it. There is a feeling of connectedness with creation if we open our minds to that as well. And that is what Shabbat can be for us, an opportunity for us to truly rest and to truly be. It is no accident that our Torah teaches us that God stopped the work of creation to rest, and in doing so became refreshed, which of course is a problem for some of our philosophers like Maimonides, who teach us that God is perfect and therefore God certainly would not have been tired from the work of creation. And what is this refreshment all about? It is about being without having the obligation to do. This is the big difference. During the week, we spend our time constantly feeling obligated to do something. On Shabbat, we have a chance to set all of that aside. I think it's a beautiful teaching of Judaism that says you become more godlike when you stop doing. I think it's a beautiful teaching of Judaism when we understand that to be more spiritual is to stop whatever it is we're doing so that we might instead be open to everything around us. We gather on this Shabbat, this very precious moment, and that's why it's called the present. And we welcome this gift to us, our Shabbat, this time of being, with words from Song of Songs, Dodi Li, on page 11 in our prayer books. We find the words. These come to us from Song of Songs. I wait for my beloved. My beloved in this case is Shabbat, a special friend that comes to join us once a week. How will we greet this special friend? Will we treat the presence of this friend like any other day of the week? Or will we make this a special opportunity? Will we make this a special time? Indeed, will we rise to the challenge of holiness? This is what Shabbat asks us to do. Page 11, top of the page, Dodi Li. I invite us to turn back to page 3 in our prayer books as we continue welcoming Shabbat with the blessing of our Shabbat candles. And Ophelia, in honor of the flowers in the oneg, would you please join Dee, our soloist, and I on the bima so that we might introduce you to everybody here who maybe hasn't had a chance to see you and greet you during the onegs. So this is Ophelia K, everyone. You will see her during the Oneg as well. She came to our congregation. It's been about a year and a half now, hasn't it? More than.
Since my husband died.
Yeah, her husband died suddenly and was looking for a Jewish community to connect with. And she found Temple Beth Or.
My husband was buried here.
We did a little ceremony here. Yes, her husband was cremated, so goodness, Ophelia. No, it's okay. That's what we're supposed to do. On Shabbat, we remembered all of our loved ones, those who are with us and those who are not. On the top of page 3, let us read together. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, source of the universe, who calls us to holy deeds through mitzvot and inspires us to light these candles of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Ophelia, we are honored to call you friend and chaver. Shabbat shalom to you. Thank you. I have a box here in this lectern. I forgot to make sure we had one up there. Our service continues on page 6. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, the sanctuary has endured as a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. We continue together. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. Our service continues on page 146. 146, with the words of our Baruch Hu, our call to worship. And I invite us to, oh, I'm sorry, we got one more song. My bad.
It's okay.
Thank you.
I'll follow you.
Yeah, it's okay. We go back to page 24. 24, sorry, then we'll get to that page. As we welcome Shabbat, as Ophelia felt overwhelmed by the emotions of our presence, we are cognizant of the messengers that travel with us. The messengers of memories, the messengers of flesh and blood, the messengers that travel with us during the week. And on Shabbat, we want to acknowledge those very messengers with the words of Shalom Aleichem. It is our opportunity to wish peace for not only ourselves, but for all who travel with us. Our memories, our minds, on page 24, the words of Shalom Aleichem. beautiful. Wonderful. Now we turn to page 146. In our prayer books, in our Sidurim, there we find the words of our Baruch Hu, our call to worship. And I invite us to rise as we are able. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, uvitvona meshanei yitim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochavim, b'mishmaroteham barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, Umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimlo chalenu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. We continue responsively on the next page. In each age we receive and transmit Torah, and in each moment we are addressed by the world. In each age we add our wisdom to that which has gone before, and at each moment the knowing heart is filled with wonder. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai
Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha vedibarta bam beshivtecha bevetecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshochpecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot bein einecha Uchtaftam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkaru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. We continue on page 151 as we read responsively. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all. Before our eyes, there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness. When will redemption from that evil come? Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt, and there our people saw the power of the Most High. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Our worship services are meant to try to clue us into the natural rhythms around us. Our rabbis and our tradition has understood that there are rhythms to the weeks, the months, and the years. We, in our own modern times, however, overlook so much of that. Indeed, we seem to be preparing for a late winter spring here in Southern California, which is why we include in the tefillah when we get there, Mashiv HaRuach or Morid HaGashem, only in the wintertime, who causes the winds to blow and the rains to fall. Likewise, as we come to the end of our week, we are preparing to return to our homes after our worship service. We're preparing for the end of our day and hopefully a restful night of sleep. And yet so many of us know that our sleep is often interrupted by all kinds of thoughts that appear to us in the middle of the night or more particularly at 4 o'clock in the morning for some reason. I don't know what it is. Somewhere between that 3 and 5 a.m. shift, the mind like clicks on. It's like, no, go back to sleep. But no, it doesn't want to. And other things often stir us from our sleep. How we appreciate a night of rest, how we appreciate the night of coming to the end of our duties, the end of our things of doing, and be able just to ease into between those sheets and just drift off to sleep. This is what we share in our evening prayers. Hashkivenu, may we lie down this night in peace. We continue together in the top of page 154, as we read together. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all times between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. As we prepare to enter the tefillah, our Amida portion of the worship service, I share this thought. Let us invoke our ancestors, both the spiritual and the genetic, for we are the sole reason for their existence. And let us evoke the children and their children, for they are the sole reason for our existence. Let us invoke the mountains and the rivers and this great planet Earth, and acknowledge our intimacy and indeed our codependency with all things living, sentient and insentient on this planet. Let us reflect that the gift of life is more fragile than the dewdrops on the tips of the morning grasses. And then let us vow and let us promise. Let us promise to heal and to nourish wherever we go. Let us promise to love and to share on all of our journeys. Let us promise to alleviate suffering and bondage whenever we encounter it. And let us promise to manifest peace and joy and love with wisdom and with compassion. I invite us to rise as we are able, as we continue with the words of our tefillah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'imaot U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'Nehem Lema'an Shemo B'Yahava Melech Hozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim Sohomech Noflim Verofech Holim Hu Matir Asurim Hu Mekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Micha Mocha Bal Gevurot Hu Mido Melach Melech Meimit Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman Atah L'Hachayot HaKol Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayeh HaKol Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh Ukadoshim Bechol Yom Yehalelu Chasela Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. Our service continues on page 160. On the bottom of the page as we read together, may these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfills its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. And we continue on page 164. With our ancient yet ageless hope and prayer for shalom, wholeness, peace for this very troubled world in which we live. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will and the strength to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. We continue together. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of our world. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, amvarech et amo Yisrael bashalom. Just as we pray for peace for our truly very troubled human family, so too do we want to include those whose peace, whose sense of shalom has been disturbed, perhaps even shattered by the challenges that they are facing. The words to our Misha Berach, our prayers for wholeness and healing, can be found on page 253 in our prayer books. And I invite you during the musical interlude between the paragraphs to share aloud the name of a loved one who is in need of such prayers. Thus we might bring them here into this space and into our hearts at this time. May all who are facing such challenges to their health and their well-being be blessed on their journey, a journey that will bring them to a refuah shlema, to the shalom that they desire, the wholeness that they seek, the health that they deserve. Baruch atah Adonai rofei hacholim. We praise you, O God, who helps us bring hope and healing to those who are in need. And let us say, Amen. we prepare to welcome a very special moment in our worship service, an opportunity for us to pause from the reading of the words on the page, from singing the melodies, so that we might instead hear the words of our hearts and listen for the melodies of our souls. To bring us into this time of quietude and reflection, I share this thought. May it be your will, Adonai my God, that I walk today with strength and with courage, to humble my pride and to overcome my feelings of inadequacy, to find calm in moments of rage, and to summon boldness in moments of timidity, to feel joy even in times of sadness, and to feel passionately my purpose, my calling, and my responsibility in moments of excessive levity and frivolity. May I be constantly mindful of your presence, conscious of my relationship with you, and empowered by your love. And may that awareness always be a wellspring from which I can draw for the strength and courage that I need to live better, to love better, to help others, and to serve you. And so we pause. She types 1,000 words a minute. She answers the phone. She prepares e-blast. And Deneen, thank you so much for bringing your beautiful voice to our worship service this evening. Thank you so very, very much. Dr. Ray Irwin as well, welcome. Glad to have you with us. By the way, a mazel tov we need to extend to Ray, a hearty mazel tov. A new member has joined his family. I think it's named Kia. Ray got a new car. Mazel tov, Ray! Yes, that's what I said. I have my hacksaw blade, and we'll cut off a little bit of the tailpipe, and then it'll be ready to go. And then he'll be driving around with a new car, a newer car even. As we gather in our modern world and our modern times, we find ourselves often so thoroughly inundated with all kinds of news. Where do we turn? How do we know what is best news for us? How do we know where to look for news stories that aren't covered in the wonderful news press that we have? Well, we turn our attention this very evening to News for Jews. and everyone else too. This gives us an opportunity to delve deeply, spanning the globe and the news sources that exist to bring you the constant variety of news, the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, the human drama of everyday life. This is news for Jews and everyone else too. Tired of the theme song yet, Harry? Our top story tonight, Julia Child is rolling over in her grave. Yes, my friend, she is indeed. Israel is experiencing a horrific shortage of butter. Of butter, yes, and it appears that it will not be ending anytime soon. The land of milk and honey is running low on the milk part. Since 2019, butter has become a scarce commodity that Israelis are having to resort to all kinds of other resources, the internet, international lobbying, all kinds of things. Jasta told the Jewish Telegraph Agency, "I wanted fresh butter, and there was none to have in the store. So I bought whipping cream and churned butter using several different methods. Finally, I bought a Kilner butter churn, and with that was able to make butter. Others have tried to import it from Lebanon, from Jordan, from Egypt. Hard to come by." A British immigrant reporting to the Israeli news said, "When my mother was coming to a visit from the UK, I told her that she should bring butter. That's all she needed to bring was butter." Like the Soviet Union of old, Israel's contemporary dairy sector is a planned sector, one in which the Israeli government sets the price for dairy products, thereby making sure that things don't get too expensive or too out of control. Well, sadly, in recent years, domestic demand for butter has increased, and Israeli dairies have required more milk fat. But Israel, in its wonderful sense of technology, had been breeding cows that produce milk with automatically lower milk fat. Very kind of smart, actually, until you need butter. You can't get butter from skim milk. You can't get butter from cows that are producing 2% milk. And so Israel has had to try to find other ways to create butter. At any rate, if you're planning a trip to Israel, bring butter. In other news this evening, you probably don't know this guy. Larry Tesler is his name. No relation to the Tesler family of our congregation, but Larry Tesler was the inventor of a particular software. First of all, anybody hear the news about Israel short on butter? Okay, see, there you go. I want you to know I do this for you. I peruse the news sources to make sure that you are an informed group of Jews here in North America. Larry Tesler was the inventor of a device that all of us who use computers use constantly. He died at the age of 74 here in California. He was born to Jewish parents in New York City in 1945. He went to work for Xerox first, where he patented this particular software device, and then went on to later work with Apple, which likewise made use of this patented software device. It is the cut and paste functions that we use on our computer. If ever you cut and paste a text, a word, a letter, a paragraph, a page, it is thanks to Larry Tesler, MOT, who made this available for all of us. Sadly, he died. But his cut and paste lives on. And to just prove that not only American politics are totally tasteless, I'm happy to say that in Israel, politics are totally tasteless. A winery in the Israel, what are we calling those things now? Contested territories, that's what we're calling them. In the Israeli settlement of Sagot, has introduced a special wine named for Mike Pompeo. Yes, the Israeli Times has reported that the Psagot winery has made a special label called the Pompeo wine. It is not a new flavor, but instead is a specially printed label that is going to go on a variety of different varieties of their wines. The Cabernet, the Petit Syrah will now soon be carrying the label Pompeo from the Psagot wineries. So when you bring butter to Israel, you can pick up a bottle of Pompeo wine to bring back to the States. Butter to Israel, Pompeo wine back. We can ship it to the administration. Everybody will be very, very happy. Anybody hear that story? No. All right, I'm 3 for 3. Cy Sperling. Anybody know Cy Sperling? You might not know him, but you might have known him from his advertisements. In the 1960s, Sperling opened a salon in New York where he offered special services for men suffering from hair loss. He used to appear in commercials where at the end he would say, "And remember, I'm not only the hair club president, but I'm also a client." Needless to say, I am not. He sold the business for $45 million in 2000, in the year 2000. Unfortunately, Cy Sperling, age 78, entered eternity as well just this past week. Of course, we have heard all about coronavirus in the cruise ships and in America and in all the countries. Well, Israel is no longer a coronavirus virgin. Yes, an Israeli woman who returned to the country after 2 weeks, quarantined on a cruise ship off of Japan, came back where she tested negative on the cruise ship. She now has coronavirus in Israel. She's one of 11 Israelis who returned Friday morning. All those 11 Israelis have been quarantined in a special hospital in Sheba to make sure that the coronavirus does not spread any further. Hear that story? Okay, a couple of yeses. Very good. How about this one? We all know Ben and Jerry's, right? Ben and Jerry's. Well, there's a saying in Israel, when you see a friend shortly after you just saw your friend, you say to them, so this will be the second time, you say, Pa'am shlishit glida. You say, third time, ice cream. So if you see your friend, and then shortly after you see your friend again, you say, Pa'am shlishit glida. Well, guess what? Ben and Jerry's last year came out with a flavor of ice cream in Israel called Pa'am shlishit glida. Third time it is ice cream. Well, in keeping with the holiday of Purim, Ben and Jerry's in Israel is having a contest where you could win free ice cream for 6 months. 6 months. Now, this is quite important because Purim occurs in the springtime, which means that your 6-month span includes some of the hottest times in Israel. This would be a great opportunity. They're looking for a new name for a new blend of ice cream, and they are waiting to see what people suggest. Some of the suggestions so far are... some of the suggestions thus far include such things as bamba, which is a peanut butter flavored snack in Israel, as well as za'atar ice cream. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if that one makes it or not. Anybody hear that story? See? You now know these things. And now it's time to turn to sports. A New York teenage ping pong phenomenon may have to skip the Olympics. An 18-year-old ping pong star might have to skip this year's Olympics because the U.S. trials are scheduled on Shabbat. And this 18-year-old woman is an Orthodox Jew. Esther Ackerman, who won the women's division at the 2018 table tennis U.S. Open. Did you know there was a U.S. Open for table tennis? That's 2 stories you have learned this very evening. Well, there are, and unfortunately, the Olympic tryouts are being held on Saturday. And Esther Ackerman, being an Orthodox woman, is not going to participate. The Anti-Defamation League and several other Jewish organizations have joined to petition the U.S. Olympic sponsorship that they say that they can have the tryouts on Saturday and on Sunday. But the U.S. Olympic Committee has not responded to the story, so we will see. San Diego Padres. Anybody here a Padres fan? So they just issued a brand new off-season uniform special cap, which has now been recalled. Because the logo of the San Diego, the way they have the S and the D combined, in the cap on the hat, resembles a swastika. Yes. Somebody in the design department forgot to check history. And thus the caps will be worn once and then recalled and never used again. Anybody see the Super Bowl and the halftime show, the soft porn halftime show? Well, J-Lo used an Israeli arrangement of her song, Let's Get Loud, during that Super Bowl halftime show. What viewers didn't realize is that this Israeli group, Kululam, which calls itself an international social musical initiative aimed at strengthening the fabric of society through song, led more than 2,000 women, men, and children from all ages and all backgrounds to record that song in October to mark Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so the festival was called 1 in 9 because 1 in 9 women suffer from breast cancer. J-Lo's producers got in touch with this group, Kululam, and asked them if they could use that arrangement during the Super Bowl, which they did. None of us knew that. Finally, of course, it's important for us to be sure that we announce the sports scores for the evening, and thus here we go. We have a variety of scores to share with you: 68-42, 1-0, 7-7. It was a heartbreaking tie, and finally a score of 13. What news for Jews would not be complete without, of course, weather? And so we turn our weather to places where Jews have lived. We begin in Kaifeng, China, where the weather is very sunny. 49 will be a low and 66 will be a high. In Vilnius, Lithuania, it's cloudy and rainy, 35 degrees, bundle up, and 42. In Krakow, Poland, not too far from there, partly cloudy, low of 42, high of 48. Talk about a close range there. Meanwhile, in Jerusalem, it is raining. 39 degrees is the low, 50 to 53 the high. By the way, these are Celsius. These are Fahrenheit, not Celsius. These are Fahrenheit degrees. In Tel Aviv, chance of rain, 51 degrees low, but 60 is a high. Down in Eilat, that's where you want to be. Sunny, 51 degrees at night, 69 during the day. Go work on that tan. And finally, in Haifa, in the north of Israel, rainy, 51 degrees, 62 degrees as the high. And that, my friend, concludes this evening's portion of News for Jews and everyone else too. Think about all the news stories you heard tonight that you haven't heard from your reputable news sources. Did you see this on NBC? No. MSNBC? No. CBS? No. CNN? No. You heard it right here. Temple Beth Or, making sure their congregants know news for Jews and everyone else. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Seriously, we call ourselves newsworthy, and yet our news doesn't cover any of that stuff. Maybe a couple of stories. I saw some nods with the Padres. I saw some nods with something else too. So, all right, good. The what? The hair club. Okay. And the cut and paste? Yep. That one did actually make the national news. I was actually watching that too. Yes, I did have a chance. So, all right. But still, I filled you in with yet even more news. Good. Because I'm just full of it, and I want you to be too. With that, we move to the conclusion of our worship service. Just in time for a commercial break. Page 282, we find the words to our Aleinu, the adoration, giving us a chance to shift to some more serious stuff. The bottom of page 282, I invite us to rise as we are able. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, those who live on in our hearts, in our memories, and in the place we call Olam Haba, the world to come. The words to our Kaddish can be found on page 294 in our prayer books. As we call to mind those for whom we are observing the Shloshim, my uncle Ivan Goldfarb. To his name, we link the names of those whose yahrzeits have occurred during this past week. Harold M. Kramer, Dorothy Sons, Alvin Fry, Sandra Turbo, Lola Berezin Dagak, Vern Friend, Dr. Ralph Morton, Robert R. Stocker, Isaac Streisand, Sylvia Streisand, Rachel Weber, Barbara Weiss, Esther Marcus, Samuel J. Perlmutter, Lou Sherwood, Sheldon Silber, Morris Berger, and Jack Altschuler. To those names, we link the names of those for whom we are observing the Kaddish period: Muriel Balaban, Nick Scotto, Inga Spiegel, Adrian Casson, Florence Sachs, Cam Craig, Annette Raymond, Irving Drobny, Bernard Beskin, Nancy Zinberg, Howard Brookfield, Eric Lertzman, Sandra Lertzman, Michael Lertzman, Paula Marcus, Don Kessler, Catherine O'Salis Berry, George Sachs, Adrian Henschel, Murray Gimbel, Margaret Hershkowitz, Dr. Gerhard Paskus, Jerry Robinson, Rebecca Lomelli, and Dwayne Craven. If there's a loved one whom you are remembering, I invite you to share that name at this time. To those that we have named aloud and to those that we keep named in the quiet places of our hearts and memories, we link as well the names and memories of the men and women of our armed forces who have given their lives for our liberties and our freedoms. Those who have given their lives for our safety here at home, members of our police, our firefighters, and other first responders, and the members of the Israeli Defense Forces who have given their lives for the hope of peace. Zichronam levracha. May their memories always be for a blessing, as we share together the words of our Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah. Be'alma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shemed Rabba Mevarach Leolam Ulalme Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal. Shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shmaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May all of us who mourn and all of us who are bereaved, may we find through God's presence a source of strength, courage, and hope, and above all a source of shalom, peace. And let us all say, Amen. We conclude this evening with a prayer for our way to Tfilat HaDerech. You can find the words on page 345 in your prayer books, but I invite you to balance the prayer books as you put your arms around the shoulder of someone next to you, or hold the hands of someone who needs to remain seated as we conclude our time together with a prayer for our way. Page 345, and don't forget to hold the hand or balance or put your arms around the shoulder. Tfilat HaDerech. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please join us in our social hall for our Kiddush. Thank you to Ophelia for our Kiddush. And Shabbat Shalom. May, how are you, dear?
I'm okay.
Okay,
You
good.
should be okay.
Thank you. I'm doing good. Everybody's doing well.
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah. Yeah. Shabbat Shalom, dear. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom, dear. How are you tonight? Good. As you enter the social hall, please take a glass of juice or wine. Wine is poured. Juice is available to be poured.